But was there a point of, for any of you, where like you were kind of mad, you got brought back? No? Did you feel it was like, okay, he's got something else going for me, and accepted it like that? Because like Ron, you said you were still in a lot of, you had your physical pain, but you still were depressed and you had that. Did you like, what the heck? It was so good there. Why couldn't I just stay? Did you have that experience?
Yeah. First of all, I didn't go anywhere. Okay, I was outside of my body, and I did not transport to anywhere else. I was right there watching. It was just like I stepped out of I stepped out of my body, and like I would be standing right here, and I saw everything that was there before I got out of my body. So that was, that for me, I wasn't transported anywhere.
When I say you went there, I don't mean necessarily you were shoveled off to heaven and all that, but your emotional state was of feeling that intense.
I was instantly changed. Okay, instantly changed, and I think that's what you mean. Yeah. And as long as I was outside the body, I was fine. I wasn't afraid. I didn't have any pain. I didn't have any worries. I didn't have anything. All of my worries and pain and regret and anger and depression and all that stuff came after I got back in the body, and I had it for a long time. Okay, because I had no understanding of what had happened to me at all. But when I was outside the body, no problems. But when I got back in, that's when all the problems came. What about you guys?
With me, it was a turmoil inside the fight of trying to get close to God and understand why one's going through what they're doing, the experience you have today. Why am I married? Why am I divorced? Why are my children? I mean, I remember one of my sons, when I was praying to God to have a child, I found myself traveling outside of the body to this planet. It was canyons, maybe thousands of feet tall. It was red, very dry, no greenery in it. And there was a little hut on and I was walking towards this hut. And it was all rock. The pitch on the roof was only a 312. There was no rain, no water around. And when I entered, I knocked, and I was told to come in. And I look inside, and there's a straight chair, a wood straight chair, and a gentleman sitting in the chair. And I walk in, and he stands up, and he puts his hands, welcome way over his crown chakra, over the spiritual, where soul comes and leaves. And he welcomed me, and he says, well, I'll be your son. And I was so humbled. I go, wow. And I asked him, well, you're here, there's no civilization around you. He goes, oh, this is all illusion. I keep my body here because it's peaceful, and nobody bothers me, but I travel the galaxy consciously, intelligently. So he was a highly developed soul, and I was kind of smart, like, okay, well, what are you coming down here for? And he says, that's a gift from God to come down here and walk this planet. And if I may deter a little bit, some people say this is a trash can planet. Some people say this is the Garden of Eden planet. And there's a waiting line to come into this planet because of everything we can experience in this our lifetime. The pain, the anguish, the turmoil, the positive, negative, where in the other bodies, the other lives, we may live 2,000-3,000 years, but they don't have the negativity or the grind that this planet has. So souls are actually asking and begging to incarnate here so they can have their life, and then they take the lessons, good and bad, and spend thousands and thousands of years trying to figure out what they learned from it, so it can become part of their heart, part of their being, part of their love for God and other humanity. So this is really a beautiful school. Regardless of how much we kick and complain, it is a beautiful, beautiful school. And we're very, very fortunate to walk here. Even though we talk about, man, I'm going to leave this body. Sure, you can. You do it every night when you sleep, you dream. Sometimes more experiences. But we're fortunate for every day and every step we take, whether there or here. We're surrounded by God's love. That's all there is. It's called life.
So Mario, can I ask you a question? So is that, so do you
Look at the microphone.
So can you soul travel at will whenever you want? How did you learn how to do that? Did someone guide you to do that, or were you raised to be able to do that, or how did that happen?
Very fortunate. It was great. My father could, but he never would teach us boys because he used it as a control factor to watch when we were going to get in trouble. But he'd always slap us in the forehead when we did something stupid or dumb. And his story was, if you ran across, you were on a very narrow road, and there was a big boulder preventing you from going on the other side of the road, what would you do? Of course, contractors get a pick, pry bar, jack, dozer, whatever to move it. And of course, that hit your forehead and said, did you ever stop to think? You could look behind the boulder and see what it would take to remove it. So it would roll out of it your own way. We are our own boulder to soul travel. In my belief, we have more than one body. We have five bodies, and of course, miracles. We have our physical body, we have our astral body, then we have a causal body, memory, akashic records, etc., etc. Then we have a mental body, and then we have what they call the subconscious, unconscious. Then we have our soul. You can travel in any of those bodies, any of those heavens. It's just a matter of relaxation, and if you want to travel, look to Jesus or whoever your master teacher is. And just, not beg, but love. Sing them a love song to God, to your soul, and ask for that experience. Love will get you there, not anything else, not wanting, not grabbing.
So did you travel as a child? Did you start traveling as a child?
Oh,
okay.
Yes, I could tell you a lot of experiences.
Oh, okay.
Everything from plopping down into the body. I mean, like I said, I had 3 master teachers when I was 5 years old that I would talk to in lights. I found out who they were later on in my life. And the temples they teach at, and the planes of heaven that they teach at. And I thought I was a pretty good person until that experience with death. And God said, go clean up your life. Huh. And then it stopped being for me. It started being for His creation. Because He's what's doing it. He's what's keeping this body alive. I'm not. I'm too dumb. So it's by His grace that every day. And if you walk in that love, in that appreciation, and I'll resort to Jesus when He would always refer to His Father, only by the grace of my Father, or by my Father's will. He never wanted to leave that love that He had for His Father, even though He went through what He went through. He never lost that love for His Father because He never wanted to be away from His home and His heart and His beingness. So He carried His Father with Him everywhere, regardless who did what to Him. It didn't matter. It was His Father that was here with Him, allowing it. I'm sorry.
No worries.
That's good.
Thank you, John.
I want to direct this question to Ron. Ron, I've heard you tell a bit of your story before, and I was at a meeting one night in this very church, and someone said that they knew of someone who had committed suicide. And another person, and I don't remember who, it's in the room, another participant in the room, said just out loud, what a terrible, horrible, nasty thing for this person to have done to his family. How dare he do this to his family, to the people that he loves, and how can he not think about all that stuff? And you touched on that, but I want you, if you will, to once again explain to me and to us how it feels that moment that you decide that you do not want to live in this body anymore, that you cannot live in this body anymore. You said, I didn't think about my children, I didn't think of anybody. Can you tell us where you were emotionally at that time, that you pulled that trigger, and that it wasn't to get at anybody or to say, I'm going to make them all sorry, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that? It was just something you felt you had to do at that time? Can you explain that?
Sure. I just wanted the pain to stop. I wanted the shame to go away. I wanted the guilt to go away. I just wanted to go somewhere and be somebody else at some other time. So it was all about me. Okay. Now, I believe today that every day on this planet, millions of people are being born, millions of people are leaving, okay? And it's a constant cycle that's going on constantly. And how we leave, we all come here through a woman, okay? But how we leave is it may be predestined. There's things that we study that say, we agree that we're going to be here and this is going to happen and we're going to leave. But I don't think it's important. I did not, one of the things that I did not feel was any judgment. That's why I think I had so much peace. There was no judgment anywhere, not from me, not from anyone, while I was outside the body. When I got back in the body, there was everything was multiplied. All the shame and the guilt and everything had to be overcome. But when I was outside of the body, it was the most natural thing in the world. There was nothing. And so when people are going to die, and I don't think it matters how or when. And if we look back and we see that we have lived hundreds, maybe thousands, maybe millions of lives here and in other places, and there was always a birth and a death. And I don't know that it's I don't advocate for it. I don't want to leave before it's my time, because I want to stay here and learn everything I can possibly learn, and I don't want to take myself out. I don't advocate other people do. But I think if you do, it's okay. It's not gonna make a black mark against you, because I don't believe in the black mark stuff. Okay? What's going to happen is going to happen, and it's part of nature, it's part of life, it's part of the universe that these things happen. That's just the way that I've come to understand it. Does that answer? Does that help you?
May I say?
I put it on mute.
If I may say something about suicide, from my understanding, Ron, you were very fortunate. Basically, suicide, from what I understand, is you're denying God's gift to you. You're saying it isn't worth it. And the one gift God gives us is our life. So God has a little bit of a sense of humor when it comes to suicide, because he doesn't let you go into the in-between worlds. He doesn't let you go into the heavens. He pushes you back into another body instantly. Normally when you die, you have 7 years to travel around before you have to go to heaven or whatever. But the point is that when you commit suicide, you're telling God you don't appreciate his gift. You don't desire that gift. You're telling God that what he gave you was not okay. So God says, oh, you really believe that? Then he sends you back in another body with the same problems, but just worse problems, until you subject to the power of God and you learn your lesson and you're grateful for what the experience he gives you, and you give him honor, and it's a gift that you get. So if you're going to deny God by denying your life, be prepared. You are going to suffer until you accept what God gives you. For he is the giver of life. You can take it away, but he is one hit. I'm sorry, that's just data that I know about Ron. And
one of the thoughts we would have is that we commit suicide every time we die.
Yeah,
We need to bother, we do something to it to produce it.
that's right.
I just wanted to acknowledge the question, I like the statement you made, Ron, when you said I was more alive in 15 minutes than I was dead. And I thought, God, that'd be the title of a great book you could write about.
Yeah.
This experience.
I believe that we are here to overcome being here. Okay, we come into these bodies, and we have all sorts of challenges during our life. Everybody has challenges, and it's overcoming them. And what we find out is all the problems are in the physical and the mental and the emotional, and all the answers are in the spiritual. We have to find a connection with God, with the universe, and it doesn't. I don't believe that it matters whether you have a relationship with Jesus or Buddha or anybody, Mohammed, whatever. And you don't even have to have a name. That's part of the reason that we are here, is to find that connection, of who we really are in relationship to the universe. And it is much more than what we ever can conceive that it is. But we are we're confined in these bodies, almost like being in prison. And we have to overcome that. We were given a little vision of, what it's like to be outside of the body, and bring that back. And so, and it's important, I think, that we come and we share that, because it's a great gift that we're given to be on this planet, to be alive, to have awareness, and to have these problems that we can overcome. That's otherwise it'd be a pretty boring place, wouldn't it?
You guys want a chair?
You need a chair, John.
No, I'm fine.
Okay. I had a question. There was for any three of you, but there was a program on TV about somebody that passed on, and it was about forgiveness, that they had forgiveness for others and mainly about themselves too after they came back. But they had a peace. And, I think that was the thing that they gave the most, was the faults that they had in their lives.
I can answer some of that. I probably forgotten because it's the first time I've ever shared my story in front of people, but I was very angry when I had that heart attack. Why me? Why is this happening? And why not? But I was very, very angry, and they had me pretty sedated, and then they kept saying, you're going in for this heart procedure. Well, it didn't click to me that it was going to be an open heart surgery, a triple bypass. And I come out of there and I look, and then they have 3 tubes that they pull out of you. It just was like an exorcism of some sort, and I was mad. I was really, really mad at the doctors, at myself, and just angry at everybody, angry at God, and after I had my near-death experience, I came out of it with a new meaning of what really peace is, and what's really important. And that anger has just kind of went from a 10 down to like about a 3, and I'm working on that 3, okay? Because I think that was one of the main reasons I had the heart attack, was stress and not eating right and angry, I think pain is, we've got a little say, pain is a touchstone of all spiritual progress. For me, it is anyway, and I think I have to go through that physical pain, the mental pain, and the spiritual pain to get where I'm at today. And I don't think it's an easy trip. I think we can make it an easy trip, but not some of us. We take the hard road, and we take it. We kick every rock on the road, basically, and after a while your shoes wear out and your toes start hurting, but you still keep kicking, and I think a lot of it's just a kinder, gentler type of person I am today, I made some vows when I was in that hospital that I'm never going to yell at my wife again. And that's been over a year now. I haven't yelled at her, you know. It's a record for me. And also, you know, I told you, I'm here, God. What do you want me to do? You know, where do you want me to be? And He's led me to these places, and where I can be a maximum service to other people, not me. And found us a loving church and some good people, you know, up there, and that's just, I think, following the directions that were given me, instead of me taking the cookbook and saying, no, I'm going to put 4 eggs instead of 2 and screwing it up. God gives you this plan, and I think I'm getting closer to trying to stay down the middle of the road and not wave off one side's pride, the other side's that depression we talk about. And depression is just anger without the enthusiasm anyway, so, you know.
Anger turned inside out.
Yeah, inside out. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. Did you want to speak on that, Mario?
Yeah, just the forgiveness. The forgiveness really, if you have a leash and tied to somebody else that you have an anger with, who's the prisoner, them or you, if you can't let go of the leash? Forgiveness is letting go of the leash, letting go of the problem, the hatred, the resentment, the vengeance, and to set yourself free. If you want to fly, forgive. Real or imaginary. Anything that ever was said to you, done to you, at you, real or imaginary, I forgive, and I ask everyone else to forgive me for anything I've said, done, real or imaginary, because I wish to be free in my Father's heart and my Father's body, so I can travel. So forgiveness is the key to release. Not them. God says, vengeance is mine, says the Lord. He'll take it and make it right, because God is balance. Above all things, He is balance. But set yourself free in forgiveness and let the pain go. Why carry that pain? It hurts your heart. Yep. So let it go and let God deal with it. Set yourself free. Forgiveness.
There's all sorts of blocks to that peace. That peace is there waiting for us, and it's not that far away. We don't realize. I mean, that's how quickly we could find the peace. It couldn't have been far away, because we accessed it instantly. And so now we're having a near life experience. Okay, in that we have these judgments, and we have these things that and the way to clear away those blocks so that we can have as much peace as we can is through forgiveness, because forgiveness is the tool that helps us to wipe away the blocks between us and God. Does that make sense? And so the more, it's almost like a skill. The more we practice it, the better we get at it. And if we find some good results from it, we want to do it more, because it makes us feel good. And so if you haven't tried forgiveness, I suggest that you try it, because it really is wonderful. You have to forgive ourselves, yeah. And we have to. Go ahead.
And I was just going to say, you know, I had some deep resentments before this heart attack and near-death experience, and when I came out of it, it was like they melted like snow in July. They just were gone, you know. But I had to go back and make some face-to-face amends to some people, and boy, does that feel good. You know, I'm not carrying around their baggage anymore, you know, and I'm taking the poison and hoping they're dying, you know, and it really is the cleansing, I think, that came from this near-death experience is something that I want to carry with me to the end too. You know, it cleaned my soul a little bit, and took some of these barnacles off this old ship and just shoved them off to the side. And that's the forgiveness, I think, that I got. That was a gift that I didn't ask for. You know, I didn't ask for any of really these gifts, but that was one that I don't have room in my heart for them, you know, especially all the stents in there, you know. Refrigerator magnets stick to me now, you know.
Once you've experienced the peace, okay, and the calm, and the unattached. See, we were unattached from all the cares of life. See, we didn't need to forgive anything because we weren't judging anything. We were in a place where that all the things of the world didn't matter for me. I don't want to speak for you guys, but that's where it was for me. As soon as I was back in the body, I cared a lot about everything. And but then, there was a way was given for me to work through all that stuff. It's been 32 years, and I'm still working on that stuff. I'm still in the body, and I have to deal with this plane. But the good thing is that I know I don't have. It's not a belief, because a belief is almost like a theory. That it needs to be proved. For me, there's a knowing that I don't have to argue with anybody. I don't have to justify it. I don't have to wonder anymore. I know that when this body is laid down, that peace is there waiting for me. I don't know what's going to happen. When I'm completely out of the body and I go, I'm leaving that. That's up to God. That's not up to me. But I know what happens initially when I got out. Okay. And I try not to make any judgments about what's going to happen later. We study about what other people are saying that happens and things, and all those things are interesting. But the part about the initial thing about being out of the body, I don't have to wonder about that, and that is a real gift because everybody does.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Anybody else? You have any questions for each other?
We're very fortunate. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. Glad you're here.
Very, very blessed. Very blessed. And if anything can be conveyed from my experience, your experience, it's that appreciation for God. It is much more than we realize it is. And the worries of this body aren't. When you go to school, you complain about. When you go to school, you complain about your teachers and the homework they give you and the tests they're going to give you. But when you get out on recess and you go home, you celebrate. And this is school. This body, this life is school. So enjoy it, make the most of it, learn as much as you can to go towards heaven, not the other way. And you earn what they experienced. It's something that's earned by service, by love, and acceptance.
All right.
I'm still in K1.
Well, it's been our pleasure and honor to come to you tonight and to share with us. It looks like the time worked out pretty well. If we'd have had 10 more people, we'd have had to ask them to wait. But I believe that every single moment is absolutely perfect as it is. And so this moment is absolutely perfect with all of you here sharing these stories with us and sharing our love and giving us your support. And we appreciate your attentiveness and your questions. And maybe we'll do this again in about a year. What do you think?
Sounds good. I want to thank you all too.
Thank you.